Well, Ann Coulter, a best-selling author, a great columnist. You know, her latest book, In Trump We Trust. If you don't have it yet, get it, and you should be reading it. Also, Adios America, if you're concerned about the border and all that stuff. And go to AnnCoulter.com, and make sure you follow Ann Coulter on Twitter. Ann Coulter, how you doing?
I'm very depressed. How are you?
Oh, God, here we go. You mean the spending bill?
That prohibits Trump from building a wall. Even the prototypes were a big fake out. That prohibits Trump from building detention centers or detaining the ones who were already detained. He's going to have to release them. And prohibits Trump from hiring any new border agents. Just some bureaucrats back in Washington. But they may not arrest illegal aliens. This is what a Republican Congress produces, and your president's response to it is, oh, but it doesn't amnesty the dreamers.
Well, wait a minute. He's going to block this bill. He's going to get the wall funding in there. The reason he's calling for DACA to be in there is the Democrats are trying to hide DACA right now and save it for a November election issue. So he's calling for them to put it in just to screw up their strategy.
Okay, I like your 3D chess, and please, God, let it be true, because otherwise we're just going to have to think of all the things that will be fun as America falls apart and be glad we don't have children. So let's leave your president aside for a moment. What is with the Republicans?
They're totally corrupt. This Paul Ryan and company.
Oh, my gosh, are they corrupt? Paul Ryan, Tom Tillis, all they're doing is pushing for more and more foreign workers to drive down American wages. They're unbelievable, Mark Simone. They're unbelievable.
No, they're...
You know, back when, you'll remember this, your younger listeners will not, when Reagan came along, half the Republican Party was pro-abortion. And the conventional wisdom back then was, I was a kid, and, you know, New Canaan wasn't exactly, pro-life evangelical territory, but all the Republicans in New Canaan, Connecticut were pro-choice. You had to be pro-choice. Conventional wisdom was, you can't win an election, you got to be pro-choice. Reagan comes along just unabashedly pro-life. He was the first president to write a book in office. What was it about? Abortion. He was the first president to speak at the pro-life march. He comes along, and again, for your younger listeners, he won not one, but two landslide elections. And suddenly, overnight, the entire Republican Party flipped, realizing, oh, this isn't death in an election. In fact, voters kind of like it when we're pro-life. The entire Republican Party is pro-life now. I don't think you can find a pro-choice Republican anymore. Why won't that happen on immigration? How many times do voters have to say, we want no immigration, we want a way less immigration and no illegal immigration? Every time we've allowed voters any kind of vote on immigration, they have voted for please stop. Please stop. Starting in 1996 with Proposition 187 in California, overturned by a judge, but overwhelmingly supported by the voters, including overwhelmingly supported by African-American voters. That would deny government benefits to illegal aliens. Overturned by a judge. Gray Davis came in as governor, first governor recalled in California's history, by the way, and California got flooded with illegal aliens accepting government benefits. You see what's happened to California now. It's gone, gone, gone. We have to sell it back to Mexico. We've had 3 amnesties Congress has tried to sneak through in the dead of night in the last decade. Every time they were shut down by somehow voters getting wind of it and shutting down the congressional switchboard. And we just elected Donald J. Trump president. He began he announced for president talking about Mexican rapists. The chant at every rally every day was build the wall. And these Republicans in Washington can't learn? Do they know midterm elections are coming? Even if they don't care about the country, even if they could not care less, which clearly Tom Tillis, Paul Ryan, and Mitch McConnell do not, if they only care about their own hides, what are they doing passing this omnibus bill.
They are working for the Chamber of Commerce, the Business Roundtable, the special interest. They're getting paid off by all the donors and lobbyists. That's what they do. They work for them, not for you.
I also want to point out, I am really fed up with Republicans saying, oh, we had to fund the military. Well, for one thing, the three pillars of Trump's election were no more job-killing trade deals, obviously immigration, number one. And number two, as he said at that South Carolina debate, the Iraq War was a disaster. It created ISIS. And we all thought, when he turned to Jeb Bush and said, your brother lied us into war, that, whoa, South Carolina, they're such a big military state. Yeah, and then, 2 days later, Trump sweeps the South Carolina primary. The third pillar of the Trump campaign is no more pointless wars. And now he's hired John Bolton. That seems to be our new strategy here. But leaving that aside, what is the military doing these days? They're taking the money and spending it on inducting transgenders and hiring diversity counselors and providing for the babies born on our ships at sea. We're not supposed to be having any more pointless wars. And meanwhile, the military has completely gone off the rails. It's just another government welfare program. So Republicans can just knock off this. We had to fund the military. How about the military cut back on diversity counselors? They'll have a lot more money for things like tanks. Well,
the good news is you sounded a little sleepy at the beginning of the call. Listen to you now. It's like the Energizer Bunny. You've come to life.
When I think about what has happened, I'll get depressed again.
Oh, no. Don't get depressed. It is 3D chess. He's going to do this DACA push just to screw them up, the Democrats.
Well, he better veto it. I mean, if he doesn't veto it, unless he's going to do what he ought to do, and I've been saying forever, but he certainly doesn't seem inclined to. He's commander-in-chief. Congress cannot withdraw his authority as commander-in-chief to protect our borders. Do you know there's money in the bill to build border walls in, Syria and Afghanistan? But we can't have one here. And the bill specifically prohibits him from building any wall that would work. You cannot use any of the prototypes. You can build a little pedestrian fence.
Well, in this particular one, but he'll get that negotiated.
You've been saying he'll get there over and over again. He's not even trying to get there.
He'll get there. I hear he's even got other ways of funding this wall. He'll get it funded. And
we are going to be fully Mexico, and you'll still be saying, he's very complicated. He has it's sneaky strategy.
I like Mexican food.
We don't need 300 million Mexicans for the restaurants. We didn't need 30 million.
That's true. Forget DACA, forget the wall. It's still the worst spending bill I've ever seen. It's a ridiculous spending bill.
It is the Chuck Schumer bill. Did you see Nancy Pelosi said to Trump, if you want a wall, just think it has a wall and sign it. And that's what he's headed for, apparently.
The worst thing was Chuck Schumer last night. I goes, this is the greatest bill. We love this bill. Now you know it must really stink, top to bottom.
Oh, yeah, he got like $60 billion for a tunnel, but we can't have $1 for a wall.
Yeah, and they gave him $60 billion for a tunnel that really costs about $2 billion, so...
That's amazing. Chuck Schumer got $60 billion for his tunnel, but Trump can't get $1 for the wall.
Yeah.
In a Republican Congress. They're going to be wiped out, the House, this fall. I won't care. Trump will be impeached the next day, but don't worry, only because, a roll of the dice, if you care about keeping Trump in office, roll of the dice, it's not a good year for Democrats in the Senate, so we'll probably hold the Senate. But you can guarantee that he will be impeached. The Senate will not remove him from office.
Yeah.
But this is going to be really bad. This is going to be really, really bad. These Republicans are unbelievable. And other than me hating Democrats, well, almost as much as I hate Republicans, there's nothing good in sight right now.
What do you think about 60 Minutes, CNN? They've gone all porn, like nonstop porn. Stormy Daniels, the Playboy centerfold.
Well, I still kind of hate our media more. There are things to be complaining about. Does anyone in this country care about about the drug epidemic? All of these young Americans getting addicted to and overdosing on fentanyl and heroin? Does no one care? Because that is 100% the result of immigration. It has been tracked over and over again. It's a lie if you've heard it, that this is mostly a doctor is overprescribing. Very few of the deaths, a small percentage, less than 20%, are even technically tied to prescription drugs, and those are prescription drugs that are being abused by drug addicts. This is the entire heroin epidemic and fentanyl epidemic. It is a problem of open borders, and the media don't care, the Democrats don't care, the Republicans don't care. No, let's just fund more treatment programs.
Very good point.
Does no one in this country care about our working class? Does no one care about African Americans and their wages being driven down, down, down? What is the matter with our media? All they can talk about is porn stars and this nonsense about Russian collusion.
Well said. Hey, everybody should get Ann Coulter's book, In Trump We Trust, and go back and get the book Adios America. I think you should reissue that. But anybody can get it, right? Just go on Amazon.
Yes, and especially the audio, which I read myself, including with special outtakes at the end.
Oh, okay. Adios America is a great book about all of this. And then get the book In Trump We Trust, and follow Ann Coulter on Twitter. And you can go to her website, AnnCoulter.com. And Ann Coulter, thanks for being with us.
Good to talk to you, Mark Simone. Bye-bye.
Right, take care.
I spent the weekend and a lot of money looking up these reports. I don't know if I'm sure you've seen some of this. Liberals keep aggressively asserting on TV, well, studies show immigrants commit less crime than Americans do. Now, I know that's not true. What I don't know is how they're lying. So I wanted to know, and I tried to get the reports. Well, first of all, you ought to be suspicious that one of the arguments they're making is, well, New York City has a lot of immigrants, and I don't see a lot of crime here. That's not a study. That's not science. It's retarded. And, Geraldo was making that argument with me, and Geraldo is not a stupid man, so the facts must not be very good. But anyway, I tried looking for the studies, and I put in, sometimes you'd get a reference to the name of a researcher. And then I was looking on Nexus to try to see where are these studies, can I see what they're saying? And you'll get a professor from such and such a university. Well, I just did a study, and it turns out first-generation immigrants commit far less crime than Americans. But they're all hidden. I'd track down the study. They're all hidden behind paywalls. And, I'm already paying for Scribd, for Nexus, for a billion different services. So first I wasted 2 hours thinking, come on, you're not going to make me pay $50 for this crap-ass study. But, yeah, I had to keep paying $50 just so I could skim down, find out what the lie is, which is what I'm probably going to tell you all about in my column this week, but I'll tell you right now. They are not looking at Americans. They are looking at criminal Americans.
Yep.
They have different